Hey, what's up, y'all? Jay here.
I'm Meka.
It's our channel. We're getting ready to do Life After Lockup, episodes 5 and 6. So, doing them in tandems, just because. So, but give us a like, comment, subscribe, see our other stuff, all that stuff.
The notification bell.
So,
and I just do want to say this, like a question that we get a lot is, where do you watch the show? We watch it on All Black.
All Black.
So, I'm sure there's other streaming networks.
And WeTV. All Black and WeTV. Those are only two places, from my understanding, to watch it.
So that's where you can catch it, because we get that comment a lot.
So, let's get into it. So, episode 5, which was more potent episode of the two. So, episode 5, a couple things we have going on. So, we had Will, who actually, this is the fallout from Courtney finding out or saying that the ring that he bought her was fake after she took it to the pawn shop and the diamond test said it was fake. He gets the divorce papers and he goes to, she's in Portland, right?
She's in Portland and she's at a new halfway house.
Yep, she's at a new halfway house away from Mark. At least this is the house that he set up for her, but she's there. So Will goes there, he's calling her, she's not answering, so he just pulls up to the house, just like, boom. Knocks on the door, she comes out. They get into a little back and forth and, about who's wrong. And she's like, I'm not going to give you the divorce. He's like, sign the papers, all this.
Right.
But she says something kind of potent to me during the argument. And he's like, you're not being a wife, you're not doing this. And she's like, I don't know how to. And even though, they're arguing and bunch of BS is flying back and forth, stuff that's not meant to be said and whatnot. I feel like that was like her being honest in that moment. Like, I don't know how to do this. Well, maybe you shouldn't have did it. Is the first thing.
And on Will's part too.
On Will's part
for
too.
Sure.
They get into it about the ring, because he asked her like, who you sleeping with, and she's all like she ain't caught one while she been out there. And they kind of had a little conversation on his way down there about the ring. He's like, well, I know it's real. I got it from a jury auctioner online, and he says it's insured. Which we'll get into that later, but he says it's insured, so he says it's real. So, and that's pretty much what the gist of their whole thing was. They, left off on episode 5 with them, but they're just on the front steps arguing and whatnot. Oh, no, and he gives her the papers and she rips them up. She rips them up when they first start talking and whatnot. So that was them. And we go from there to, Arizona. Rebecca and whatever dude's name is. I think his name's Kevin or something, ain't it?
I don't remember that man's name. I thought it started with a B, but maybe I'm wrong. But
he's a problem.
He has problems, for sure.
So he gets back to Arizona after his court date and after he's ghosted her all this time, and he's at a bar with his friends who know he's supposed to be doing sober living, and know he has a drinking problem, but they're like, hey, you've had a long whatever, have a drink. So and she and they make a joke like she's like calling him, he's not answering, so she just pulls up because she got him on location, or production told her, who knows,
right?
But she pulls up and she's like, oh, you having a drink? And he's like, yeah. She's like, how many you had? And he's like, 2. And he's like, well, no, I had like 2 beers, 4 shots, but combined is 2.
Oh,
I'm like, yo, combined, you have an issue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what goes on with them.
I think they get in the car at that point, and then they're arguing. And he calls her out her name.
Calls her out her name,
which was wild.
Yo, I'm talking about he's talking reckless.
He was talking so reckless, and I was just like, to me, she was relatively calm when he was talking to her like that, but I just was like, wow, like, just to let that fly off your mouth like that, and you just think it's cool. That was wild to me.
But he was like, pull over the car or else I'm going to jump out.
Jump.
All this or whatever.
I ain't really pulling over, jump out anyway. Like,
and mind you, he's 31, she's 24. But he's acting like a 20-year-old and she's acting more mature. So that's really interesting. Their little thing. But that's pretty much what happened to them. Is they get a little bit more into their stuff next episode. Did we have Troy and Zahara? We did. We had Troy and Zahara because Troy is in Buffalo still.
Yeah.
And the big thing this episode was him trying to see his daughter. And
he
the baby's
also
mom.
has issues.
Yeah.
His is more like trauma. He has some anger in him. He has some things, really sad things that have happened in his life that he clearly hasn't dealt with. And then he also has some maturity issues, in my opinion, in regard to as far as like the baby mom and him seeing his daughter. The way he handles that is at a sort of an immature level, as well as the baby mom. She's also immature.
Well, I feel
they're both immature.
Well, at first I thought that. But after seeing in this episode, so in this episode, he's still in Buffalo, and he finally talks to Zahara, and she's like, look, when you get back, we need to talk. But while she's there, you need to see little Troy, which is his daughter. And his sister trying to get him to see her also, and he's like, I don't want to deal with the mom. I don't want to deal with this. Long story short, we find out through like a flashback that when he was there in Buffalo before, after he got married, he took his wife with him, Zahara, to meet the baby mom, and she had a big issue with the baby mom being there. Like, she's like, if we're going to talk about it, it's going to be...
No, she had an issue with the wife being there. The baby mom had
that's what I mean. Yeah. She had an issue with the wife being there. She's like, we're the parents, we'll talk about this, and that. So he's kind of avoiding it even to the point where he has... Zahara convinces him to try to see his daughter. And he has his sister call the mom. So sister calls, she talked to her. You could just tell in old girl's tone she's finna be on one. And she's like, is his wife there? And she's like, no. What you doing? And then she was like, well, can he see her? And she was like, no. So this let me, at first I thought maybe he just didn't want to do it. Now I understand, it seems like he's being immature, but he's like, no, I already know what she's going to be on.
Yeah.
I already know what and he's like, that's why he was saying, I don't want to deal with this right now, because I know what she's going to be on and where she probably has the ability to take, like, even just getting denied can take him to an emotional place, and he's just not in that space right now.
I can see that. And clearly they don't have stuff on paper or whatever, because if she wouldn't be allowed.
Some people don't care about it. Well,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's not legally, she's not allowed. Like, it's none of her business who's.
Well, the thing is, she could have it legally on paper, but he's not going to want to deal with no legal aspects right now. You know what I'm saying? Just getting out. You know what I'm saying?
Like he could have it legally.
No, she probably has all of that stuff in general. But let's say hypothetically he even has something on his end. That doesn't mean he's gonna go through the route of enforcing it, because I don't want to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? You just got out of jail.
But the sad part about that is the kid loses out. Like, it's not. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that the adults can't seem to get their crap together to realize that they're hurting the child more than they're hurting each other. And I do agree with you in this case. I do feel like I forgot about that phone call. I do feel like it is more her and her issue with his wife, who seems to be, we can only go by what we see, but she didn't seem very problematic when they met up, and she doesn't seem problematic in general,
Right. Yeah, she doesn't.
We can only just go by what we're being shown, but yeah.
It just sounds like she's trying to get, he's having a hard time just dealing with it emotionally, which I'm pretty sure that didn't help. But, that was pretty much the extent of his part on the episode. They didn't show much outside of that with him. No Justine and Michael this episode.
I know you were
luckily.
About that.
So now we'll hop right into, let's go to Demadric and Kiana, and I'll let you take
what happened on this one?
This was the birthday party, the actual birthday party.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it was decided, Kiana decided that she was not going to let her kids go to the birthday party, even though Demadric's son one of his gifts or requests was for Kiana's son to be there, because they are close and they do play together when they come over and all this other stuff, whatever. Kiana was like, my kid's not going. I can't go. The kid's not going. And with all this, and with the whole situation, which we talked about last time, where Joella is accusing Kiana of vandalizing her vehicle, she's just like, I don't feel comfortable with it. It doesn't, that's understandable, I guess. And again, it's kind of up in the air whether Kiana did this or not. We don't know, because Joella, look, sidebar, because I be looking online. Joella does have a little record of her own for vandalism and whatnot that they pulled the mugshots on this week. So there are some things there. But yeah, he goes to the party without Kiana and the kids. And it appears like it's okay at first. And I think this is where he tries to give her money to kind of like have her back off of this case. He gives her $600 because you said it's about $600 for your tires. Here's $600. Kiana does not know that he's giving her this money. She takes the envelope and in so many words, I think she said she need more money, right? It was something about she wanted more money.
She's like, I need just more in general as far as like, the money's just not going to fix it.
Yeah, it's not going to fix it. Yeah.
I'm going to say this next episode, but I have a theory about the money.
Yeah.
It's a very obvious theory, but
so in that, and somehow they started to get into it, and Joella starts calling him out, saying, well, I mean, we still sleeping together. You was over there last week, that type of thing. And he like, oh, okay. He never really said like, girl, bye, like, nah, we not sleeping together. He's just kind of like, really, you about to bring that up now? What that got to do with, that's kind of his thing. And so that's what we're saying.
She didn't say the time frame this episode. She just said recently, and he was like, nah, we ain't did nothing in months since initially when he got out, essentially pretty much what he was saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just pretty much deflecting.
Deflected. Yeah. And
Kiana came and dropped off some cupcakes, and the big thing was like, only because she knew Kiana was coming, now she wants to go outside and get her jacket so that she can make herself be known. So this is the pettiness that you can start to see, because the Madrid's like, nah, I'll go get it. She's like, nah, because she just wants to make herself known. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's what that whole, and when she did that, that kind of amplifies stuff, because she was trying to, she's trying to cause an issue, and I'm starting to see a little something more and more with Joella, but that's pretty much all that happened with them also. And then the grandparents came, and they're like, where are her kids? Because Joella was there when the grandparents came, and so...
This is another situation where this is a child's birthday party, and instead, again, of them focusing on that, they are doing all of this. And both you and I were like, Demadric is the problem. Demadric is the problem for sure. Like, if he is sleeping with both of them, right? And he's maneuvering the way he is, he has to expect there's going to be some problems, right? Like, it's just, you can't sit there and be sleeping with your baby mama who got what? He got 2 or 3 with her. How many got with her?
Enough.
I lose count because Demadric got a few baby mamas and got a few kids in a few places. So, I don't know. But I do know he at least got 2. It just gets messy. Yeah. And for him to then be like, well, why can't she come to the party? Well, if you're still sleeping with her, why would you think she would want her? Like, it's just, come on, Demadric. Come on. So, again, they all a mess, I have to say. But I do feel like he could control that a little bit better.
Well, that's the problem. He's trying to, Well, I think I'm gonna say that to the next.
Or what we think he's doing, because we don't know for sure. But yeah.
But yeah, that was them. And then the big thing. Oh no, we have Keith and Latricia. The big thing with Keith and Latricia this episode was, so Keith is like, he just got to the house, he's trying to knock something down, all this other stuff, and his phone keeps going off, and she's like, who's on your phone? He's like, oh man, I got a catfish. So Latricia gets his phone,
but he responded to the catfish.
But no, so she gets his phone. And she goes to it, and it's like some girl who was like, hey, are you coming to the party? And he's like, nah, this is the wrong number, son. And then he simply said, she's like, oh, okay, well, have a nice weekend, whatever. And he's like, have a nice weekend. I personally think it was and this is her reading it, it seemed innocent to me. Mm-hmm. I personally was like, it seemed innocent. He did just get out. He did just get the phone. He may not have known if maybe somebody gave his number. Like, hey, who knows? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just got out. Somebody could have been they could have been setting up a party or a surprise party. He don't know. You know what I'm saying? His responses to them were innocent responses.
They were innocent.
You know what I'm saying?
And
innocent enough. And she was, she wasn't tripping too much, honestly. She was just,
I like her.
Yeah, I messed with, like, first I wasn't sure I was going to, but she seemed cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, she seems like she's level-headed. She does seem level-headed, you know what I'm saying? So,
I think she get it popping if she needed to, for sure.
Yeah,
and it don't take much. I can see it don't take much, but what I like about her is I feel like she really is about him and the family. Yeah. That's what I like about her.
Yeah. So I think that was just the main thing with theirs. There wasn't too much besides that. It was just him getting to the house and that whole little thing. Yeah. And now we get to JK and Brooke. So the big thing this episode is, so Brooke, she's still, she's pregnant. She just had the blood test. And now she sets up a whole meeting with Alex because she wants to talk to Alex to kind of put everything out there on the table. And Alex actually says, okay. And she meets her at some little humbug ass place, which looks like it's right over in Waco. Yeah. Anyway, and I mean, Waco looks.
We're not far from there, so that's why we know.
So she walked right up and just, not know. Hey, she's like, oh, you came out looking like that. Like,
Brooke was not that action.
Brooke was with it.
Brooke was like, why are you looking like that? And then she's like, what you mean? She was like, you look a mess. Yeah. Like, God, dog, Brooke.
She really was. She went there with the intention to start some BS, just in general.
Brooke don't know how to get information.
Yeah, she don't. And so Alex is like, I'm not doing this. I'm leaving. Put like this. At a certain point, it came to fisticuffs. You know what I mean? They got in, and Alex gave her a nice little, you know what I'm saying? Brooke called a good little. I seen that.
She was yapping and talking all that mess, and Alex rocked her a little bit. And I don't know. Sometimes people just be loud. They don't really be about that. They just be loud, and that's exactly what Brooke is.
So they do that. Alex gets in the car to leave, but then production asks Alex, hey, have you been sleeping with JK, and were you pregnant? And she says yes. And she says, yes, I was pregnant, and I did miscarriage. Yeah. And then out of all this time, Brooke's been trying to get into contact with JK. She calls him now, he finally answers.
Right.
And then that's how the episode ended there. So that was episode 5, so we're just going to transition into episode 6 now. And we're going to pick up right here with these two, just so it can go straight through. So, she got in contact with JK. JK's like, nah, I ain't been doing this. Nah, she wasn't pregnant. I ain't did nothing. Mm-hmm. Cool. So, now this episode with them pretty much centered around the fact of this pregnancy test, this blood pregnancy test that Brooke took. She has the results. She pulls up to the house, and listen, somebody needs to do something to her. I wish JK had a sister, because the level of disrespect that she runs her mouth with, she's all in these people's trailer house or whatever.
Brooke is funny. Don't get me wrong.
No, they don't live in a trailer. They live in the house. They live in the house, yeah.
But she all up in the garage calling people bitch's and
just
he ain't shit and your raggedy ass son. And
just extremely disrespectful.
Let somebody little girl come up in my house talking about.
Yeah.
No. I don't know how. What's her name? Barbara? Is her name? She look like a Barbara. What's her name?
Who?
KJ's mom.
I don't know.
What's her name? Is her name Barbara? She looked like a Barbara.
I forgot what her name was. Name's JK's mom.
But yeah, so Brooke is disrespectful.
Yeah, she's super disrespectful. She's going off, whatever. So, but we get the results of the test, and the results are negative. She is not pregnant.
Yeah.
And I've been saying that from the jump.
You did say that.
I said it from the jump. She lost her job, and she made some false accusations to hold on to JK because she knew that the job thing would be something that would push him away from her.
Well, do you think she did have like several positive pregnancy tests, false positives.
That's what she said.
Or production did. Who knows?
I think that's what she said to make it seem. She couldn't say it was all 100% and then, eventually get there. She said that to try to pull JK closer, and it backfired on her. She knew she wasn't pregnant. I don't think if she said I have 4 positive and 2 negative, so the odds are in that you're likely. So the negatives are there to give us some, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She wasn't pregnant and she knew it.
You walked out on this part, I believe, but she started crying, and she
went to the. She's problematic.
Stop it. She went to the bathroom, and KJ followed her, or JK. Is that KJ, right?
Yeah, JK.
He follows her, and he hugged her, and he started talking about how he knows that Brooke really cares about him, and she had been there for him during, like, you know, his most trying times. She ain't never did nothing that, I guess, like, you know, stab him in the back, I guess, outside of the whole job thing or whatever. Right. He's referring to, like, sleeping with other men and whatnot. But, you know, they basically made up. And the mom was like, I want y'all to be successful, you know, and she's like, you know, this is the last time, right? Like, y'all are gonna get it together. And I think for her, the mom loves her son so much. And I think she's seeing that he's, because there's another couple, they're hinting around that he's
drugs.
Doing drugs or drinking or something. And she's concerned about him, and she really just doesn't want him going back to jail.
Then being with Brooke ain't gonna help him with that. He needs to go. Well, I'm sorry. That's just my view, and I mean, but
I think that there's a level of protection that she does see with Brooke. Like, even though Brooke can be problematic, I do think that she do love him, and for the most part, like, no, she's not gonna sit there and let him do drugs or something in front of her. I think that's what she's looking at.
Yeah, but no, she won't let him do drugs. She will be the factor to him. So yeah. She's not. No.
Yeah, but you know, I'm just trying to think maybe why the mom might have said that. I don't know, but
stability. But I don't see how that works. But I mean, that's them.
Yeah.
So that's them. We have no choice to Sahara this episode.
Yeah.
We have Will and Courtney. Pretty honestly, it was just an extension of the last episode. They're kind of arguing back and forth. I did notice something about Will. He does not know how to, like, now whether he's on, you know, they're arguing, and there's this moment where they're kind of like, they're like at an impasse kind of, and you can like kind of sense the tension. And she's pretty much saying like, I don't want a divorce. He's like, and then they go their separate ways. He gets in the car and he kind of starts crying like he does, crying and vaping, and she goes in the house. And in that moment, I was like, well, you clearly still want to be with her, but you don't like how she's doing. You can't read her to say that she's pretty much like, all right, if you're gonna do something, do it now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't able to pick up on that like kind of like social cue or that physical like that she was giving him, and that's why they won't necessarily make it in that moment, because he couldn't say like, you know what, you know, he read, like I said about in the last episode where she said she don't know how to do this stuff. So there is a point. I mean, you are married. At points like you do have to figure out how to be confident if you really want her, and she's saying it, even though she might just be trying to get over on you still. But if there was a moment, I think that was a moment that he missed in that moment. So, but that was pretty much it. You know, Courtney talked to her mom, and she's like, well, maybe you should just sign the papers. You guys got married pretty quickly. But that was pretty much all that happened with them two. So, what else we had?
Justine and what's her name? They popped up on here, but it really wasn't going on. She convinced him to for her to go take a trip to New York to pick out wedding dresses. Because they're back on that again. And also she called her mom in this episode, and she's kind of on the outs with her mother. And she said it's from the point that the baby was born. She hadn't really talked to her mom. They don't really talk about like what happened or why, but she called the mom and she's like, hey, we're getting married. Are you going to be able to come? And she's like, well, when is it? Like, you kind of let me know at the last minute type of vibe, you know? And so that was somewhat understandable too, because it's kind of like they hadn't really talked, and it's like, hey, maybe we should talk about what's going on or why we're not talking, and then I'll talk to you about my wedding stuff. But she kind of just out the gate was like, so you gonna come? I know you mad at me, but whatever, type of thing. And the mom was like, well, I don't know. So that's what that was.
Nothing major there, really.
Nothing major there.
What else we had? We had that. Oh, we had Keith and Patricia. Their whole thing was just that they're trying to get his son, custody of his son, and then they went to court, and pretty much nothing really happened from what they explained. It's kind of like they pushed the court date to another date is what it was. Yeah,
the son currently lives with his father because the mom lost custody or something like that while he was in jail.
Yeah.
one thing I noticed that I'm still I wonder if they're gonna kind of elaborate on or talk about is her daughter, her oldest daughter appears to, and she's a teenager, so it could be that too, but she just kind of seems like,
really standoffish.
Why am I here? Why are you here? Why are they here? Like, she's very standoffish.
Yeah.
And I could tell her interaction with Keith is kind of like, he makes these faces kind of like, okay.
Yeah. A little awkward.
So it's something weird about that. I don't know.
He might just have to gain her trust, so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he her, whatever,
what her issue
with her,
is.
well, and that also depends on her and her mom's relationship, her relationship with her father. And then you got, they're, married. He's been in prison 11 years, and now he just, you know what I mean? So,
because she be side-eyeing her mom, too.
Yeah.
Like, when her mom talks to her, they just don't seem that close. And I mean, that could not be true at all, but from what we're seeing, they just don't. It seems like something that's off.
Yeah, it's a little off. So then maybe hopefully we'll get some back into it.
Yeah.
So,
are we going to get into the
well, yeah, but first, Arizona. So, dude hops out the whip, extended from last season. Yeah. And she goes home and, he comes in and he's just like trying to get a cup out the dishwasher, kicking it, just real dismissive of her. He goes to play video games.
He's still under the influence.
He's still a little bit under the influence. And he got a sign on his door there's no girls allowed, which is very weird.
Yeah.
But so he goes in there and, he's kind of talking sideways to her, and she's kind of like, I'm done, I'm over. Like, I don't want to be with him necessarily.
Yeah.
So that was that night. He called her, out her name a few times and whatnot. He's like, I don't want to have to be around you or whatnot. So then they fast forward to the next day, and he's driving. He's like, okay, she's going out with her homegirl tonight. He's like, it's cool. I get to go home, be by myself, or whatever. And he goes home, and she's just sitting in the bed. And he's like, pretty much it's something worse, like, why are you here? You know what I mean? And then they get into it again.
Yeah.
And he plays the victim. He's like, I had this stuff on my chest I wanted to say to her, and then, she was astonished. I said, like, nah, I'm pretty sure she knew how you felt because you've been making it clear at this point. And she tells him, like, I don't want to be with you. I deserve better. So pretty much they're at they're
and
at least from what it seems
things
like.
that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, she said, well, she knows that he can't afford that place on his own. Then he was like, well, I think that she should leave, right? Like, she should be the one to leave because, I mean, she can get another place. I can't get another place. But how are you going to pay for it, sir? You can't afford to pay for it.
He seemed like somebody. He seemed like somebody who seems like he may be very entitled. You know what I mean? I would love to know what his upbringing was. Because he seemed like a very kind of pompous, entitled, type of person. So that just ended up in a bad situation. Now he's dealing with the repercussions of that. Yeah. Just the way that he handles her in general. But so that's where they left off. And I will let you do the magic, Kiana. And then I'm going to just say my little...
So on this episode, they're still at the party. They are going back and forth still about, Joelle saying that he is still sleeping with her. They get louder and louder. The kids are kind of in the background playing. At this point, Demadrick's parents, his stepmom and his father are there. And they get into it to the point where Demadrick's like, well, I'm about to bounce. Like, right? He, tries to leave. She's like, okay, bye, leave. Like, whatever. I think she might have either kicked him or pushed him. I can't remember. Because I remember he turned around, because you missed that. He not kicked him hard, but just kind of like, gone there type thing. And he kind of turned around like, all right, like, whatever. And so, of course, Kiana's coming to pick him up from that. But in the meantime, his father steps in. Actually, before that, the stepmom is like, what is your problem? This party is about the kids. They get into it. The stepmom and Joelle get into it. She's like, she always doing the most. And, it's not about you. It's about the kids. We got presents for the kids. Like, what are you doing? And so they get into it. And then the dad has to tell the stepmom to chill because she getting heated. And so he goes outside to handle Demadrick's business, which I just was like, I said this when we were watching. I was like, Demadrick is spoiled, clearly, by his father. I mean, it looks to me, his dad, that didn't require, Demadrick should have been able to kind of like make that situation less, what's the word I'm looking for?
He could have just been able to calm it down.
Yeah, he should have been able to calm the situation down a whole lot more than what he was doing. To me, he was adding fuel to the fire and whatnot, and his dad had to step in and go and try to talk to Joella.
Yeah.
And the meantime, Joella putting the kids in the car. She like, no, she ain't trying to hear nothing. She steady walking to her car. She putting them kids in the car. And what happened after that?
So she leaves. And then the next thing they show Demadric at Kiana's house washing the car. And so Kiana's talked to him. This is where he tells Kiana he gave her the money for the tires. And he tells her about the argument, how she was saying that they were sleeping together. And then Kiana's just like, so hold on, why would she say that? And then it kind of goes off. Just kind of ended after that.
Yeah.
So here's my thing with Demadric. Demadric is going through all this because he is continuously sleeping with Joella. He is actively trying to have two households at the same time, and he's thinking he can keep stuff level with the both of them, like he has been doing, as it seems, the entire time that he's been dealing with these women in the first place. And the thing is, they both have been down this road with him. Joella knows that the thing is, he's living with Kiana, but he's feeding into Joella by going over there and sleeping with her all the time and being around the kids. So Joella gets this little glimpse of them as a family, essentially.
Yeah.
She gets these glimpses, but he's over here doing this with Kiana. And, you know what I mean? So, and his way of trying to hold it together is by doing, and he's not going to be able to do it. Yeah. In the long term, he's going to, if he breaks up with Kiana, he's going to probably end up with Joella eventually.
And Joella appears to be okay with being, for lack of a better word, aside peace. She's like, he always.
Well, no, because she can do stuff like get this, I need $600 because of this, because even though that is what she paid, because we did see her actually pay them for her tires, but he has to do that balancing act. He has to handle both of these households. So he is absolutely the problem, but also so are they,
for sure,
because they know the roles.
Kiana's accepting it, and she don't have no kids with Demadric. The bottom line is she don't have no kids with Demadric. She can really just walk away.
But she don't want to lose to Joella.
And really, Joella can walk away too. She has kids with him, but there's more of a tie there, and so she's not choosing not to walk away, and they choose to keep doing this sharing activity.
Yeah, until one of them actually gets him, and then who knows how long that lasts, because what'll happen is then there'll just be somebody else after that.
If there's not already somebody.
Yeah. So, but that was pretty much the whole episode. So
yeah.
That was episode 20. Sorry, not
the wrong show.
That was episode 6 of Lyfe After Lockup, and so this was 5 and 6 together.
Yeah.
And we will be back next week with episode 7. Let us know what you think about it in the comments. Give us a like, comment, subscribe.
Don't forget to hit the notification bell.
Yep. And we will see you in a week. Or if it's a boring episode, we'll see you in 2 and do another couple of videos like this one and the one before.
Right.
But we'll see. Yeah. If it's a really good episode, we were going to do, this would have been 2, but had some, stuff going on at home, sick kids and stuff. So, yeah, but we will see you in a week or 2.